Kia ora e homa, my name is Neen. I call myself the Joy Ninja because I am trying to create a sense of abundance on a smaller income. And I am just doing this video out of, it's an unusual video for me. I don't usually go deep into my weekly budget. You see me stuffing $440 a week into my everyday binders and sinking funds and things. But I don't talk too much about my income sources and how that breaks down and all my expenses that I leave in the bank. So that's this video. I have here a weekly budget sheet. It's from my budget workbook, and I have that on Buy Me a Coffee, and you don't have to use this. I'm sure there's other people that do this, but I'm using it because I have used it in the past, and I keep them, and it's really interesting to see how things change over time. So that's like rule number one about budgeting is I really encourage everyone to do some kind of spreadsheet or like a sheet like this, whether it's pen and paper or whether it's doing it online, about where you want your money to go. You know, like actually tracking your actual spending is a different thing. This is just looking at your income. It can highlight how much you're spending for like rent and things, how much of your overall income you're spending on those sorts of things, and it can help you make decisions about where to cut, what to cut, that kind of stuff. But anyway, let's just get into it. I have the income box up here. Sorry, I wanted to do it bit by bit, and I've tried to like, what's the word, zoom the camera in a wee bit. I don't know how to do that in post-production, so I really hope that it's clear and you can see it. So my source of income is from Work and Income. I get some supports from them because I have a disability health issue. So I get that, and I get extra because I am bringing up my children, and I get an accommodation supplement. If you are in New Zealand, this won't be, news to you. But all in all, this month, and I'll qualify that, this month, I'm getting $1,078.10. Kia ora, folks. I'm just popping in post doing that video to let you know that I got my income figure wrong. The money actually came in last night, and I looked at it this morning, and it is $18 less than I thought it was going to be. So that just flows through my account, and what it means is instead of $200 a week to save this month or this next 4 weeks coming, it's going to be $180 a week. This is a weekly budget, and supports from Work and Income, and this is an increase on last month. And some of the things that make a difference with that is that 2 lines down, the child support, this comes from inland revenue. My ex-husband pays it to the IRD, and they pass it on to me if they get paid. I'm really thankful that my ex-husband does pay this. I think it gets taken directly out of his pay. But if for any reason he doesn't pay it, I don't get it. However, the supports that I get for Work and Income are dependent on how much that is. They treat this amount of money as income, so they reduce the supports accordingly. If I wasn't getting this, I would get a little bit more in support, I think. The petrol allowance comes from ACC, so again, and if you're a Kiwi, this will be not news to you, but just for the benefit of those who might be tuning in from other parts of the world, we have the Accident Compensation Corporation, ACC. So they are there to help provide you with access to rehabilitation and support services to help you get over an accident or injury. And in my case, I claim a petrol allowance, and that helps me get to my appointments so that I can have my treatments. So yeah, as I mentioned, the child support is $272.25. That is a monthly amount. So if it's a 4-week period, this is covering, but sometimes it's a 5-week period in terms of this. So this all goes up and down. It's very annoying. I really wish the 2 government departments would decide whether it's weekly or monthly, but because they don't, kind of, yeah, whatever. Anyway, I get $1,380.35 a week to live off. That's what I've got to budget with. So down this side is all the stuff that stays in the bank and gets paid by automatic payment or direct debit, or yeah, I don't get it out in cash basically. There's my rent. That's the biggest expense. That's gone up since the last time I did it. So the little up arrows mean things have gone up since the last time I did it. My internet is just under $20 a week. Phone is $4.84. Spotify is $4.40. Now I have had periods where I have not paid for Spotify, but I use it so frequently I feel like I get the value out of it. Then there's car insurance, which is $15 a week. Life insurance is very expensive, but I am quite old, so there's that. Power for this month, I had budgeted $75 a week, but that's assuming a $300 power bill this month. And I can go on my power bill app and look at the projected, and it's projected for more than that, but it's going to have to be a case of talking to the kids about turning off lights and closing doors and all those things that kids forget to do because they're not the ones paying the power bill, right? And this little star next to mum, it's not for me, it's for my mum. I am budgeting $35 a week, and that is because she has moved rest homes, and the rest home she's in now has a daily charge, and my brother and I are working together to cover that for her because she doesn't have it. So all up, every week I'm paying $740 in expenses out of that $1,380. So that leaves me with a little bit of money to get out in cash, and this is what I stuff into my envelopes every week. It's $440, and $250 goes into the wallet. That is for petrol, groceries, and I call it fun money, but it is it's weekly, once a week takeaways. So the rest would be $190, I think. 440 minus 250. $190 I get to spread over my revolving binder, which is this black one. It has things I dip in and out of, like household, like beauty, so my hairdressing appointments, well-being, clothing is in here, hobbies is in here, family fun, so that's doing cool stuff on the holidays, gifts to friends. I have a birthday envelope for birthday presents for family members, giving, and a miscellaneous envelope in there too. So if I go back in the past, I was putting $70 in my revolving binder, and I think I'm going to stick with that because it works. So if I take 70 off the 190, I've got 120 now to split between sinking funds, that's the pink one, celebrations, which is the spotty, and then long term is the green one, which I actually don't have out right now. Now celebrations, this is where my other little thing comes in. Celebrations has got Christmas in it, and it's also got birthdays. And I know the big birthdays that we like to celebrate are at the last half of the year, Christmas too. So there's a lot of expenditure going to happen there, and I want to focus a little bit more. In the past, I had been putting $10 a week into celebrations, but I definitely want to bump that up to $50 at least for the next month or the next quarter. This thing here, if you're not new here, you will have seen this booklet before. These are all my envelopes, and I actually work out week by week where I'm going to put things. And every 3 months I come up with 3 goals for that 3-month period. And those first 2 are to fund Christmas and fund my education envelopes. So Christmas is in there. I've got about $400 to go to fund it. So that's why celebrations is going up, because I really need to be working on that. I don't want to have to try and stuff this in the last quarter of the year. It's too close to Christmas. I like to buy presents when I see things on special. Yeah, so that's my rationale there. Sinking funds is the other one that contains education, and I'm over halfway, but again, I'd like this paid up. I'd really love it paid by the end of September, and that gives me the last 3 months of the year to kind of really focus on like back to school stuff, summer holidays stuff, Easter stuff, and kind of I'm just front footing things a wee bit. Yeah, so if I take the $50 off that we're going to be putting in celebrations, that only leaves us with $70. We're going to put it in sinking funds, and that gives me nothing for long term, which is kind of sad. But let me just double check, because I've got a plan. $440, right. So that little box is all accounted for. Then I've taken, it might actually be helpful to look at this now. I've taken my income, I've taken away the fixed expenses. There's not really much I can't move these in any way. Well, I could move house, but that's another video right there. I could, but it's unlikely. Super unlikely that I would get anywhere where my kids had their own bedrooms for less than that. Anyway, so that's $740, that's $440, that leaves us with $200 a week to put into saving challenges in the blue binder. Now, remember how I said that doing this and actually monitoring your actual spend are 2 entirely different things. I'm mentioning it again because this is my ideal. I'm really going to try and stick to this for the month of July. We're doing this at the end of June, so 4 weeks from now. But life does happen. So if you are going through this process and you do it like this and you don't save $200 a week, just take heart, like just be kind to yourself, because I can't know what's going to happen in the next 4 weeks. I can do my best to be prepared and organised, and I am, and we can roll with the punches a wee bit. But by divvying up my income in this way, I've got my top priority, my second priority, that's my third priority. If I can't save $200 a week because my mum needs more furniture, or she needs to go to the podiatrist, or I don't know, the kids need more clothes than what's in the clothing envelope, it will come out of savings challenges. This is a nice to have, but you know, I might not make it, we'll see. So this is where the zero-based budget business comes in. We take my total income for the next 4 weeks, each week, take away fixed expenses, take away my weekly cash stuffing, take away the savings, and we have 0. So in that way, I have decided where to put every dollar of my income. So look, I hope that makes sense. You know, if you're new to budgeting, do this, definitely do this. But also, it is good to monitor how much you actually spend as a separate thing. So that actually means going and downloading a bank statement and going through line by line and working out which category that comes from and if it matches up to what you think you should be spending. But that's a topic for another day. I will leave it here. Oh, the only other thing I thought would be interesting is that I quickly put it into US dollars. So my weekly income in US dollars is 825 USD. And I just, for the Americans out there, is that a lot or not? You know, is that quite a normal amount for you guys to be living off? I know things cost different in different countries and stuff, but I'm just fascinated. So anyway, thank you for hanging out with me while I do this. I'll link the budget workbook below if you want to go and check it out. But otherwise, I will see you back here for my next cash stuffing. Kia ora.